Hi again, everyone. Happy New Year. It is January 3rd, 2023. And I said I was going to be making a lot more of these solos, and I haven't been doing that. Again, it's on my list of the shoulds I should in life that I want to stop saying should and just do. So today I wanted to record on this very intriguing and fascinating life journey to me. And it is regarding long-time friendships that phase in and out of our lives, and basically the intrigue when you come back together with these friends. I really do consider them to be, true soul sisters to me. So I wanted to share these two short little stories with you today because they do intrigue me so much, and we see people come back around. Sometimes you feel like you are in separation. I think sometimes that is an illusion in our mind, again, for a longer show because people are always with us. But anyway, it can feel like you are in separation, especially when you are not talking to each other and, not physically with somebody, doing things with them or talking to them. So in general, in seeing the evolution of people, it's really so rewarding to me, including to myself. So this is one of the things that makes this beautiful about these two stories. But what I wanted to say, whether it's evolution, that they're already kind of like evolved to where they want to be or where they're going to be, neither one of them are exactly in that place, but they are making the steps towards changes. Okay, some really like big time changes in their life. So, what I've always said, including myself, is that people have to learn in our own ways. Sometimes we want to give advice and different things to other people. And maybe in my situation, sometimes, not sometimes, I end up talking about, these things that I've learned, and some people don't necessarily understand, don't get it, or, they can't see it, or whatever it is. So, have to learn in our own ways. And I am the same way, constantly, every day, going through this personal growth stuff. So, the two people that have appeared in my life as of recently, I haven't talked to them in a couple of years. I talked to one this morning to give you a little bit of a background. I've probably known her both of them about 10 or 15 years. So, she had made, which is for another show, a New Year's resolution. So, I always love talking about this sort of stuff because these resolutions and things that don't end up sticking for a lot of us, what's going to help make us stick? And that's what I wanted to ask her after we had this conversation. And she basically said that she made a New Year's resolution to herself that anybody asked her to go work out, that she would say yes. And I happen to be that person. So in asking her, so what are we going to do this time to actually make it stick? Because she does have a weight loss goal and different other sorts of things. What are we going to do this time? So we went on to discuss that because of her lifestyle, which is basically owning a drinking establishment, makes very good money and all of that, it still causes her to be in that environment and living that lifestyle, which she says she drinks. She's in her 40s and she drinks she's in her 20s and do like 3 days at a time. So this year she really wanted to return back to self-care and actually having a weight loss goal. And she told me that she needs to start meditating, and she remembers me talking about it back then, but she was like, it's not for her. So I know quite a few people like this. Again, no pressuring, but just kind of talk about like the benefits of it or how I incorporate it in my life, and how I live my life without drinking and never have on a constant level. It's just for me like a couple times a year. So she also recognizes, and has, for the first time I heard her use that word, toxic. She describes the environment and that lifestyle, toxic to her. So I also thought that was progress for her because she wants to change it. She doesn't think it's cool, right? Her all of that's getting boring and she's not into it anymore. And so she's over it in a sense. While she still does want to do it every once in a while, she's not sure that she can actually have just one at all anymore when it comes to drinking. So another beautiful part of this story, I know back in the day, I could really talk about this in length, is that I don't believe that she knew. I don't think that she believed in true love, nor was she open to the idea. She had a lot of negative experiences in her past, a lot of dark energy around that, and didn't have a lot of positive things to say about it. So I would say that she was closed off. And now when I talk to her today, she's out there and she's filtering through some people and deciding what she really wants, but she is open to the idea of it and somebody having to accept her how she is. Which those of us who like, who are who we are, freedoms and kind of being extrovert and talkative and things like that, that can be another thing to handle. So this is progress. Okay. So she is going out with me today to go work out. The second story that I wanted to bring up involves my other homegirl, who I haven't, same thing, hasn't talked to in 2 or 3 years. Variety of different reasons, but we come together again always when we kind of go through these different phases. And she has had several deaths of kind of close people with her that have sent her into a depressive state. She says she's been drinking a lot more. She's actually drinking and driving, doing different things that she knows that she shouldn't do. And she is not in a very good place. Okay, so she reached out and wanted to talk again because she knew I was a voice of positivity, that she said she's always known me to be, but apparently she needs this right now. So I wanted to just end this little short recording to share with you what, I told you as part of my journey and having people come around, is that coming back in and around our life or going through these different phases with each other, is that if you have somebody that you care about, I'd like you to keep in mind that part of being a friend, this is just from my perspective, of being a friend to me is being patient, allowing them room for space to learn on their own. And even if that means you need to spend some time apart, okay? And this could go on for years till you guys come around again to each other, however it ended up ending. But in true love relationships, we always come back together and be of love, if that's what it is, okay, between the individuals. So like the saying goes, these situations I could look at as a form of rejection in a way. I feel like I always find a way to think of it as rejection, but I remind myself of this other saying that I have heard recently, over the past year or so, that sometimes this rejection feeling is sometimes a redirection for both individuals in the friendship. And it's usually for the better. I'd have to really think on it to say that there's ever been a negative that comes out of it. But I like to think about it like that. So that provides, some kind of comfort to me. And these were two very special people in my life. So I wanted to share that with you today. And that took way longer than doing any sort of post, and very personal stories here I'd like to put in these solos for those of you who want to check it out. Okay, so mindset focus is basically, staying open to even the thought of a friendship that means something to you ending and not lasting, can be, if you want to use the word painful or sad, you still go through it, even though, there's a way moving forward in life that I finally learned, relationships of any sort, even an acquaintance, can come and go. And not attaching is actually very healthy to me, and not thinking that everything is just going to stay the way that it is all the time. And sometimes those friendships and relationships, they exceed their limit, right? Whatever the two people is that they needed to learn those lessons and then move on. Okay, but even though they are still in our hearts, and similar to like death, just because you can't see somebody doesn't mean that they aren't with you. Okay, and I'm gonna close this up here, otherwise I could keep talking. Okay, so I hope all of you had a good New Year's and are finding ways to stay motivated wherever, however that is throughout your life for whatever you want to achieve. Okay, I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.